It's Wednesday, November 24th, 2010. I'm Kevin McShann, and this is the McShann Sports Beat Report.
Award season continues in baseball, now bending toward the new analytic reality. Felix Hernandez winning the Cy Young despite just having 13 wins. How deep will the analysis go? We get an answer. Today, Josh Hamilton wins the American League MVP. It is an incredible comeback story. Hamilton, the top draft pick that became a bust, ruined by drugs, but not ruined for good. He came back with the Reds, then joined up with Texas, had an excellent season, led the league in slugging. Home park helped a bit. Played an excellent center field for a team that would win the American League pennant. Now, there was real competition in the American League. Hamilton taking 22 of possible 28 first-place votes. Miguel Cabrera of the Tigers there as well. Matched Hamilton offensively, slugged 100 points higher on the road. Robinson Cano of the Yankees also outslugged Hamilton on the road, and he was 6th overall in OPS while playing second base.
They often tell us that things are bigger and better in Texas, and that statement came to fruition on Tuesday when Texas Rangers outfielder Josh Hamilton capped off his magical season by claiming the American League MVP award for 2010. Hamilton is the first Rangers player to claim the award since Alex Rodriguez took home the honor in 2003. He also joins former Rangers winners Jeff Burroughs, 1974, Juan Gonzalez, 1996, and 1998, and Ivan Rodriguez, 1999. In addition to receiving 22 first-place votes from the Baseball Writers Association of America, Hamilton also placed second on 4 ballots and 4th on 2 others for a total of 358 points. Detroit Tigers first baseman Miguel Cabrera finished second in the balloting with 262 points and 5 first-place votes. Robinson Cano of the New York Yankees finished third with 229 points. Jose Bautista of the Toronto Blue Jays finished 4th with 165, and Paul Konerko of the Chicago White Sox came in 5th with 130. He also picked up a first-place vote. Hamilton, Cabrera, Cano, and Bautista were named on every ballot. A total of 20 players received votes. Hamilton met with the press on Tuesday to discuss his initial reaction once he learned he had won the award and what areas of his game he feels he must improve upon in order to continue his success in 2011.
I got the call and they just told me congratulations, obviously, and that I had won MVP, and it got that little flutter in my stomach of excitement, and it was just it was awesome to get that call. After I said what I said earlier in the season about giving the MVP up as long as we went to the playoffs and won in the playoffs. But God is good, and He allowed both things to happen. Yeah, I can improve in all. I mean, to be honest with you. Hitting, I can do better. I can be more patient at times, as Wash talks about presence. If they're not giving me anything to hit or pass it along to the next guy. And I finally realized that in the ALCS. It took me all year to realize it, but he kept driving it home. And Obviously base running. I mean, I don't steal bases unless I have to. Playoffs, I ran a lot more than I did during the regular season. That's something I can do if I want to do it. I like to keep the big body off the ground as much as possible. And outfield play. Gary Pettis has been tremendous. He was a great outfielder, Gold Glover, and I pick his brain. I listen to him, and it's about being coachable and listening and not thinking you know everything. So that's what I want to continue doing because these guys have been around the game for a long time, and it's an honor for me to be, coached by them, managed by them. So I'm going to listen. In the off season, I worked hard this past off season, but it wasn't going in and trying to lift the whole gym and getting all big and swole. It was about knowing what I've injured. Jose Vasquez, our strength coach, has helped me tremendously. The training staff, Jamie Reed, Kevin Harmon, about knowing what's hurt in the past, and how to train that to get it stronger. And you know what? I just need baseball strength. So that's what I was talking about, not lifting the gym. But you know what? Just being strong so I can get out there and play on the field.
Hamilton is 29. He finished first in the majors with a batting average of .359 and a slugging percentage of .633. He also came in second in on-base percentage with an on-base percentage of .411. He also finished sixth in hits with 186. He placed fifth in several categories, including extra base hits 75, multi-hit games 53, and home runs 32. He is the first player since Lou Gehrig in 1934 to record at least 30 home runs, 40 doubles, and 100 RBIs. He wins the MVP award despite missing much of the month of September with 2 fractured ribs. Hamilton received a $100,000 bonus for winning the award. Cabrera pocketed $200,000. Konerko received $60,000, while Tampa Bay's Evan Longoria and teammate Carl Crawford both received $25,000 bonuses for collecting votes. ESPN's Tim Kurchin explains why Hamilton won the race for AL MVP. He also reflects upon the season that was for all 3 top vote-getters.
Tim, only 133 games. I think that was the issue surrounding Josh Hamilton. Missing, 29 games. Would that hurt his cause? It didn't. Why not?
Well, it didn't, John, because even though he only played 2 games in September, the Rangers were 8 games ahead when he went out in September, and the biggest reason they got that lead was Josh Hamilton. When you lead the league in hitting at .359, playing an above-average defensive center field, people really take notice. Then you lead the league in slugging and OPS, and you're 5th in home runs. The guy hit .405 after September the 1st. He hit .401 against right-handed pitchers for the season. That is unbelievable. And even though you could make a case that Miguel Cabrera had a better offensive season than Josh Hamilton, he played on a team that finished 500, 13 games out, whereas Hamilton was a better defensive player, had 8 steals and 9 tries, and he did it for a team that won the American League West, and in a lot of ways, for me at least, he personified what the Rangers are all about. He had unbelievable power in the middle of the order, but was a really aggressive base runner. That's how the Rangers won. And when you look at those advanced metrics, Bucci, that you talked about, when you look at what he did and when he did it, he was clearly the most valuable player in the American League.
What about Robinson Cano, however? This was a player who had a fantastic year. He wins the Gold Glove. He plays 160 games. He drives in 100. He scores 100. He gets 200 hits. He was maybe their most consistent and best player all year long for a team who also won their division. How far is Robinson Cano behind Josh Hamilton this year?
Not very far, John. I thought it would be a closer vote because Robinson Cano, there's simply nothing bad you can say about him on what he did this season. It was unbelievable. And he won a Gold Glove. I was talking to a scout the other day who said he's the best player in the league, even though Josh Hamilton won the MVP. I think the way people looked at it, though, He was hitting in the middle of a Yankee order where people were on base all the time, and he was not the same player the last 2 months of the season that he was perhaps the first 4 months of the season. But if you're going to get me to try to run down Robinson Cano, you can't do it. He's that good of a player. He just got outplayed slightly by a guy who was even better for me, and that's Josh Hamilton.
Hamilton has had a well-documented and public battle with both drugs and alcohol in the past. In 2001, when he was placed on the disabled list, he became addicted to both cocaine and alcohol. He did not play in the league from 2003 to 2005. He reemerged in 2007 after 8 trips to rehab to battle his addiction to become one of the best players for the Texas Rangers over the last 4 years. He appeared on Tuesday on SportsCenter to discuss the role that Jesus has played in his recovery.
And joining us right now here on SportsCenter is Josh Hamilton, the American League MVP. Josh, how does it feel to hear those words? You're the American League MVP.
It's pretty sweet. You know what? Obviously, I give all the credit and glory to God. So, either way, I was good.
Given what you've been through, Josh, I think people are familiar with your story. #1 pick in 1999. Looked like you had washed out, but again, you do come back. You surprise people. Now you're on top. Given what you've been through, what does this mean to you?
Well, you know what? Out of everything you just said, the reason I came through all that is a relationship with Jesus Christ. And that is straight up the honest answer. And I tell everybody that as much as I possibly can, because that's why I feel like I've been allowed to get back and have this success, but just being back is success. So I just enjoy sharing Jesus with people.
How does that help you, Josh, your religious conviction?
It's not religious, brother. It's a personal relationship, and that's what people get confused. It's about spending time every day, taking up my cross, asking the Lord to help me be a responsible man, husband, father today, and it's that one day at a time mentality. That's not just for 12-step programs. That's for life in general.
And how are you doing with all that?
Everything's good. Spending time with my family, catching up a little bit, and getting in the Word every day, praying, doing my devotions, fellowshipping with other believers, and just doing everything I can to further that relationship and grow spiritually.
Josh, you did obviously an awful lot for your team. You were the big bat on that club. How much, though, did it help you to have a good team, a good Texas Rangers team around you?
Well, you know what? When we had our run there in, I believe it was June, in interleague play, and we won 13 or 14 in a row, that was the first time we knew what we were capable of doing as a team. I've never been on a team with a group of guys, a mix of guys that loved each other, that wanted to see each other do well, succeed, pull for each other, and have fun, most importantly. So these guys set the table for me and allowed me to get my numbers where they were at the end of the season, and for that I'm grateful.
Yeah, you're talking to Josh Hamilton, the American League MVP this year. Your club did go through a lot. I mean, the club was in bankruptcy, new ownership, Ron Washington with his disclosure of his own drug use. What was important during this year for your Texas Rangers team that helped you get through all of that and win a pennant?
Well, we didn't let anything on the outside of the clubhouse, get in our heads or get us down. We stayed one unit the whole way through. When somebody got hurt and went down, somebody stepped in and took over that spot very well. And that says a lot about the character of the guys and their tenacity to go through everything, the bankruptcy, run, and come out on the side we came out on.
You also had an elite starter come over in Cliff Lee. How important is it, Josh, to keep that guy?
You know what? To have a Cliff Lee on your team is important. You know what? He helped us tremendously to get where we ended up. And he came over and we welcomed him in. He fit right in. I think he enjoyed his time here with the guys, with the organization. So hopefully we can hold on to him. If not, you know what? That's the business of baseball. But we still feel like we got a strong team.
I've always been a champion of the underdog and comeback story, and Josh Hamilton certainly fits both criteria. He's certainly come through a tremendously adverse time, and now is on the road to a promising future. He's emerged as a better husband, father, and athlete than before, so we should all stand up and applaud Hamilton's efforts and use his story as an example that there is power in such a thing as a second chance. Kevin McShann, Sports Beat Report.